Hello, welcome to Endeavor Solutions. Today is our Training Tuesday session on Microsoft Dynamics 365 CRM and Advanced Find. Troy is going to be leading us through today's session on doing a little bit of cleanup, talking about Advanced Find, improving your data quality, and other tips and tricks. Troy, over to you.
Hey everybody, thank you, Scott. Today we'll really dive into searching and trying to find ways to make your user experience inside Dynamics 365 much more productive. Like many tools, there's the right tool for the job. So depending on what you're looking for, or the level of detail or control that you want, it may make sense to use a variety of different techniques. So we've got a number of scenarios that I'll take you through today that will show you when to use the different tools for searching, and obviously we'll dive right into doing advanced finds and doing some custom queries and saving and sharing those. Let's dive right into the demo. I'll bring up Dynamics. So as many of you know that there's been a new release of Dynamics. If you've got an older version of CRM, say Dynamics CRM 2016 on premise, which means installed in your own environments, you're not going to see the latest and greatest updates, and maybe some of these screens will look a little bit different to you. But in general, if you're a user of Dynamics today, and you log into your environment, you should see very similar screen. As everybody probably knows, that accounts are what represents the businesses or customers. And I'll start with the all accounts view. And you can see we've got lots of accounts in this system. If I'm a sales rep or some other customer service agent or some other type of user in CRM, the bulk of what I do on a regular basis when I go into Dynamics is it always starts out with searching for, say, a customer or a contact or something like that. And from a user perspective, if I don't know the most efficient ways to find those accounts, it can feel overwhelming or cumbersome to have to go into a new system and find my records that I'm interested in and then make changes to them. So imagine I'm a sales rep, and I know that there's one of my customers, Alpine, is I happen to know that Alpine starts with the letter A, and it's likely to show up near the top of my list if I sort alphabetically. So one of the nice features, and it's a very quick way to find an account, is to click on the column title, and it'll automatically search my list. It'll automatically sort my list alphabetically. So down at the bottom here, I've got a nice alphabetical filter that's very fast. And sure enough, when I click W for Wingtip Toys shows right up in my list. And that was a very fast way to find my account without having to type anything. Perhaps I'm looking for one of my customers called Coho Winery. And I could click on the C like this, but if you're anything like us, you've got a lot of customers that start with the letter C. And up in the top right, you've also got a quick search. And so if I type Coho and hit enter, bang, the search results will come back, and I will see the account that I want, and I can click on it and make my changes. If I couldn't remember the full name, so if I just type Power, it's going to show me all accounts that start with Power. Well, that's not good, because none of my customers start with the name Power, and so I didn't get anything in my list. But if I know it has Power in the name, I just put a little asterisk in front of that Power, which is Shift-8 on your keyboard, and then I hit enter, and now it comes back with anything that has the word Power in it, and I remember now, right, City, Power, and Light. That's my customer. You can start using these asterisks, which are called wildcards. And so you can say, for instance, starts with city and can have anything after that. And it will show me anything with city and anything after. Additionally, every single field that's in your list, you also have filters. So I could even go as far as saying, give me everything where the city begins with Redmond. And I could take Redmond here. And right away, my filtered list now only shows that have Redmond in the city. Let me show you a different search. There's a button up here called search. It's for category search. And this is a really good example where if you wanted to search across your entire database for, one that's coming to mind, Tailspin. That's a customer of mine. And if I search, I can see, okay, here's all the accounts in the system that start with Tailspin. I can see there's several of them. Some of them might be related. Maybe it's a division of the corporate office. So there's different companies in different cities. Searching in categorized search not only brings back accounts, but it brings back any contacts that belong to accounts that have Tailspin. It even searches the names of the contacts. So if I was perhaps searching for a name of somebody, that person might show up here, but also his account that he's the primary contact for. It searches for any leads that might be in the system, and also it searches for any opportunities. Imagine you have a promotion going on or a particular product that you're quoting. Now it would come back with, okay, here's a list of opportunities for that particular product. Speaking of personalization, you saw that we only got to see 50 at a time. If you find that that's a pain for you to navigate from page to page, there's a nice little personalization setting screen that shows your personal options, shows records per page. Change that to 250. It's very, very quick, and now you're doing a lot less paging. I'm getting 250 in my list, and you know what? I don't even have to hit next page because every single one of my accounts now show up in the first page. This is a really nice quick win for folks. Every business that uses Dynamics has their own unique pieces of information that they want to capture. They will often ask to have a new field created. You want to make sure that you ask the question, would I ever want to be able to search for this type of field? So when you ask your consultant who's configuring your fields, it's really important to ask the question, should this field be part of the search? More so now than ever, is to make sure your data quality is clean. And in today's example, what we'll do is we'll do a couple advanced finds to assess how clean our data is. So without any further ado, let's try out an advanced find. So this is for the power users who need to be able to do data extracts and or do some create more views to make them available to other people. So let's go right ahead. So advanced find is this icon up in the top right. Looks like a funnel. This is advanced find. This is really an advanced means to query your data using different types of filters and logic. So it shows you whatever view the definition of whatever view you were on. So in this case, we were on My Active Contacts, and it shows you, well, we're using this saved view, My Active Contacts. We're searching for contacts, obviously. And I would specifically say, show me my contacts where the email address is blank. So I scroll down through my list, email. And this is a perfect example of when I was saying how accounts have over 100 fields, contacts do as well. I'm going to save this as my contacts with no email. I can also choose to say, show me all the contacts with no phone number. Business phone. I could say does not contain data. I can say you have a bunch of different choices here. You can say where a specific field equals that. So imagine in that relationship type field, I could say relationship type equals customer or relationship type equals vendor. And if I did that, then I could save these views as active vendors or active customers or active suppliers. In this example, I'm going to say does not contain data. Now, when I read this, it says show me all my customers where the email does not contain data. It says and the phone number does not contain data. But that's not exactly what I want. I don't care if both are filled or empty. I just want a list that comes back with either emails empty or business phone numbers empty. So I have a way I can do that by selecting both of those rows. And instead of using and, grouping and, I say group or. And now that's changed this query to be my customers where the email is empty or the business phone is empty. So now when I run the results, so in this case, I've got a couple contacts that do have email, but they don't have a phone number. And I've got a couple contacts with phone number that don't have an email. So now I've just added 2 more contacts to my to-do list for Monday morning to go clean up that data and make sure we've got a nice, complete, high-quality database of our contacts. And now I did this just for me. Remember where I said where I'm the owner? If I remove that, where I'm not the owner, where it means everybody. So imagine now if you're a power user that's responsible for a whole team, you can run this against everybody, and now you've got a much bigger list. There's 138 contacts in our database that are either missing an email address or a phone number. I can say, well, I don't see my owner field on here, so who's the person responsible for this contact in my list? So I click on Edit Columns. I'm also, you can see, and these are the fields here that are showing up in the list. And again, you don't see the owner field. So I want to make sure I'm adding the owner field. So I'm going to click Add Columns. And again, very important. If you want your users to really adopt using this, it makes a lot of sense to start removing fields that are not as relevant business. So if you're not interested in capturing the fax number, it's no longer relevant, that may be one of the first fields that you remove from this list. So I'm scrolling down until I find O for owner. Check it, hit OK, and now I can see the owner field is showing up in my list. I might choose to make it a little bit wider. So how I want it displayed in my grid. I test my changes, so I run results again, and now I can see there's some owner. If I want to see who's assigned, I can sort. So in this case, if I know that there's a bunch of contacts here that need phone numbers filled in, I know that I've got to reach out to Amy and Alan to go clean up their records.
Good work, Troy. Can you also show that this can be exported into Excel?
Yes, for sure. So once I've saved my advanced find, so this one was no email or phone. I save it and I close this out. When I refresh my screen, come back into the contacts list, I'm going to see my views that I had saved, my contacts with no email, my contacts with no email or phone. And now I've got that nice list. So if my job is primarily data quality, I might want to even set this to I might want to pin it. And now whenever I come into contacts, I'm immediately faced with seeing any data cleanup activities that I need to do. So I can work my way down through the entire list and eventually have a nice empty list. If I have to send out this list to a bunch of people to go get additional information, you might choose to export this list to Excel, unless, of course, your company has said we're disabling that for privacy reasons or whatever, but you have the ability to click export to Excel. It downloads to Excel and then opens up, and you can see once you get it in Excel, you can essentially do anything with it. The best way, though, is to get people to update it inside CRM themselves. And so something new to this latest version is so we'll see here, I'm working through I've got this list with no email or phone. I'm sorting all my emails so I can see all the ones with no email. If I open up this first contact in the list and I was to go fill in the email address, let's say, there's a new button here. And when you click it, it shows you that view. And very quickly and easily, I can now go through each one. So imagine if I had to fill in this field, save it, move to the next one, fill in this field, save it, move to the next one. This is a very fast and easy way to update data without having to go to your list, click on the field, fill it out, go back out to your list, find where your spot was, go back into it. So Microsoft has really added a nice little feature for moving to the next record when you're on a specific record. So you could go one step further, and once you've made all your advanced find views and assigned them and shared them out with your users, you can even go to build a dashboard. I'm not going to go build one today, but it's as simple as going to dashboards and hitting new. And you'll see really quickly, you can pick the type of dashboard you want. And from there, you choose what lists you want. So this list could have easily been contacts with no phone number. And now when you come in the morning and look at your data quality dashboard, you'd see, okay, well, it's great that we've got a bunch of new accounts in the system, but 5 out of the 15 that were created yesterday are missing a phone number. So I might go into one of them and actually create an ad task, assign it to the owner of the account, go find out the phone number. And you can do that in the system. That user will get an alert saying, hey, something's been assigned to you. They're like, oh, wow, Troy's bugging me again to clean up my data. Okay, maybe next time when I create an account, I will make sure I fill in the phone number or the email address if it's a contact. And that way I won't get that message from Troy later on. So you have lots of capabilities and dynamics. Give you some quick tips and ideas for consideration. So it's make sure you're capturing the right data. These are things to think about. After this call is, are you capturing the right data for your accounts and your contacts? Is there fields that you need? Is there fields that you don't need? Are you asking? Maybe you're using default fields that came with the product, with the system, and they're frustrated that they're asked to fill in the fax number. They're never going to use it, but someone said they have to fill in all the fields. Make sure that you're asking your users to fill in the fields that are absolutely necessary, and don't ask them to fill in things that aren't useful or helpful to them. You saw today the advanced find and was adding columns to the lists and filtering them. Do you need all those unused fields showing up there, or should you go through an exercise of removing them?
That's fantastic.
Sure thing.
Thank you, Troy. For those that are new to Endeavor, we've been around for 30 years now, working with Microsoft Dynamics ERP, CRM, and cloud applications. Obviously, CRM hasn't been around for 30 years, but the longevity of our processes and maturity around implementations, ongoing optimization and support, and the advisory services for our company rings true. We're up to 50 consultants now and have over 600 clients across Canada and the U.S. Troy, on to the next slide, and we'll wrap it up. If you look on the right-hand side, this is a screenshot of endeavor365.ca, and we have a variety of videos, mostly from YouTube that we've curated. Some of our content, a lot of it is Microsoft's content, and there's a What's New in Dynamics 365 section. There's Dynamics 365 for member management, customer service, and for sales. And just to finish off, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Endeavor or to reply to our webinar invite, and we'll be able to help you out the best we can and connect you with Troy and his team to talk more about your needs or into our help desk.